Six Impala.
Six Impala.
Six Impala.
Six Impala.
Six Impala.
Hello and welcome to the Six Impala podcast. My name is Kat. I'm here with Underscores and Omni. Today we are piloting the Six Impala podcast. Thanks to all of our patrons, we've reached our third patron goal. Here we are. We're just testing this out. We're all sort of new to this, but we're excited.
I'm excited.
Fellas, say hello.
Hey.
Say hello.
You know what it
Devin,
is.
you go first.
Shout out. shout out followers one time.
And I'm
This
Omni.
is going to be exactly like
Like-
the isn't it? Where
yeah.
each of us are going to be like, oh, shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Too many shout outs.
Uh-huh.
Shut the fuck up. All right.
God.
First
I haven't even started.
topic. First topic.
Dan, you seem a little tense doing this podcast.
We're going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Big gritty
We're gonna
bass,
talk about the
dirty gritty
elephant in
bass
the room.
wubs in ears.
Let's
We're gonna talk
the-
about.
We're gonna
We're gonna talk
talk-
about big wubs, big
We're gonna talk
laser
about dubstep.
sounds. Yeah.
Giant dubstep, large dubstep. We're going to talk about it.
big.
And we're going to talk about why it's garbage. All right.
Oh my god.
Everybody go.
I love dubstep. I can't get
Preparation.
enough of it.
No. I wanted to talk about why it wasn't on Rubber, because it's a question that I get a lot. Like, why wasn't there any dubstep on Rubber? Blah blah blah. I just felt like Rubber was too important a project to just throw dubstep on there.
Whoa.
That's my personal opinion.
Big shout out to
I-
dubstep.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, I totally understand that position, Dan. I think Rubber was a record that really didn't need, like, it didn't need that kind of a type of energy, because we already had established the more harder, grittier parts of the record with more interesting stuff. I feel, not more interesting, just unique creative stuff that fulfilled that energy gap, you know.
Yeah, I just felt like. I mean, Devin just did, or Underscores just did, like, a project on it. I just feel like dubstep is a genre that it has positioned itself in a way that can't be taken seriously, and that's why I felt like if we put it on there, it just wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
in a way that wouldn't make sense.
I feel like I agree with that. I think I've been a big proponent of, like, arguing that dubstep is so difficult to take seriously today. We have our we among other among just like some of the most, like, non, like, thought inducing like art and design and direction I've ever seen in music, at least today. It's just not, like, I don't know, it's just not living up to the standard that I wanted to see it when I was like 15, 16. Devin, you were doing a study on this, actually.
Oh yeah, it was like it was a paper for, like, this essay class, which was like, I think I started because I chose it because I was interested in how, like, brands influenced music and, like, advertising and stuff like that. And I talked about it, like, through the lens of dubstep, where advertising was, like, kind of a huge reason why it, like, wasn't really, like, taken too seriously in the eyes of, like, the general public and people who weren't, like, into it. And then I asked both of you, like, what you guys thought of that and, like, the history of that. And you were basically just talking about how, like, it normalized sort of poorly produced dubstep before good dubstep could really exist.
Yeah. I feel like when the genre exploded, and I think we did talk about this. When the genre exploded, like there was an immediate need to, like, capitalize, like literally every company on planet Earth was like, dubstep is cool, kids like dubstep, let's go. And then they, like, hired
Yeah, like right
most...
when Skrillex's song got on much, like, when it got put on MTV. It was first of the year. When that got put on MTV, it was like suddenly every corporation was like, wow, dubstep commercials, great. And they just took, like, all of that.
There's some really, like, I had to dig through them. There's some bad ones. Have you seen the
it's
like
like
WONKA Nerds commercial from 2012? It's god awful. Like, it's so bad.
Take the tab and Terry. Shake
your box is cherry. Double flavors pairing.
It sounds bad.
It's terrible. It's by some like
what-
old head hip hop producer. Like I looked up who produced it. This is like guy who like he does commercials for like other things, which was why like that was the main sort of reason for it. Is they had these people who like didn't know the genre, but like were in like the sort of like jingle commercial music type industry. They just had them do it instead of like some companies did like Weetabix outsourced like a Mord Fustang song or something like that, but like it's kind of rare. They kind of just had these like these people who were just like, yeah, they're just super out of touch.
They just want to do
like,
it themselves. It's like, we could do that. I could do that. Hey, Joe, can you go on your mixing board and make me a dubstep real quick? I don't know, boss. Why don't we just get some? Just do what I say, man.
Make me one of those.
You know,
wub
it
beats.
feels like really like, oh, dude. When I was like, this is like 2015, 2016. I was like sitting in my living room when I was living with my parents. And I remember they had the Weather Channel on, like local New Jersey, like super local New Jersey, like Weather Channel, they were playing straight up like loops from a Vengeance dubstep pack, like straight because like I was like you know like 20 anyone who's
That's before Cymatic. Vengeance is
anyone who's
before
producing
Cymatics.
anyone who's producing in like pre-Cymatics era. Like anyone who's really invested in dubstep pre-Cymatics knew about Vengeance. Everyone knew about
my
Vengeance.
first sample
That was
pack.
like right, yeah,
Same.
me too. It's everyone's first sample pack, dude. And you never
Central
bought it.
Dubstep Volume 1. and I
Never
You
bought
never.
it.
No, I was about
Ever
to say.
bought
Always
Vengeance
pirated.
sample pack.
You're like a 13-year-old on FL Studio
Oh
and you
yeah,
pirate
dude,
the shit
you
out of
have
Vengeance.
to. It's just the rules. So like, I remember I was sitting in my living room and I dug through these like loops. I knew every single Vengeance sound on planet Earth. Every loop, I knew all of them. So like, I'm like sitting here listening to this friggin' amalgamation of just like garbage Vengeance dubstep loops on the
Yeah.
Weather Channel, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah, then there's shit like that. There's like,
dude,
I've-
they probably whatever chump sold them that like. He
He's
must
probably having a riot.
Yeah, he was
'Cause-
probably like, I can't believe it.
Because I talked with James about this briefly. Because this happens too, like even in like the music industry with like the sort of corporate side of the music industry who are like, oh, dubstep is cool, so we're gonna do that. And then it's like Vengeance loops. Like if there's this one song, from SM Entertainment, which is like the leading corporation in K-pop, from like 2011 or 2012, called Max Step by Unique Unit, and it's like
Max
Step, and
It's Max.
it's like
Sucks.
because I was like I was super into K-pop. Like that was when I was really getting into it, and I was also getting into sort of producing at the same time. And like I was listening to it, and I'm like, I have like all of these loops. I pulled up all of them in Essential Dubstep Volume 1, like Vengeance Essential Dubstep. They're all in there, and it's just
All-
like
Yeah.
It's in there with
out of
Zomboy. I'm
key,
sure
and
Zomboy
it's,
did
like,
the same thing.
Like no one gave a shit.
Yeah, I mean, I did that too. Like, but I did it so. I feel like there was a line drawn where I was like, okay, like like when I was like 14, 15, I felt like ripping melodies from sample packs was like, it was like, you know, like I don't know. I was a kid. I was just doing it for fun, really.
I mean, you're also a kid, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with like ripping melodies.
But when
from
you're
sample packs. I mean,
a
they're there.
commercial, when you're
When you're
a
licensing
commercial
it, it sort of
industry-
has a sour taste
Yeah,
to it.
it's
Yeah,
just weird.
But
It
I
just
think the
feels so
biggest
lazy.
problem, that I had that I told Devin with the dubstep scene is that every genre that blows up sort of has this. I mean, you see it with trap music now, right? Like corporations are going to be like, "Wow, this has a lot of attention on it. The kids love it.
Oh,
Let's make
dude,
some."
every time I think
So-
of trap music, I want to go to Arby's.
The problem, fuck. The problem with the problem with dubstep is that all the leaders and the pioneers of the genre let it happen and embraced the corporate side.
Yeah.
It's turned into a punchline. Literally, dubstep is the punchline genre because, it's like fucking knock-knock jokes. Every song is like a fucking knock-knock joke. That's how it feels.
Yeah, like you can
It's like,
change the form, you can change the joke, but it's always going to be a knock joke at the end of
it's,
the day. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no innovation because there doesn't in a commercial world there doesn't need to be up to an extent. Like if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's like the whole mentality.
Yeah, it's
You
just
know, like-
it was just really frustrating to see because the innovations strayed away from the energy and the emotion and the texture of the songs and went towards how do I make this just fucking blow your nose right into your
We
mic.
can edit it out, you fool.
Yeah, but I'm talking, you dick.
I had to blow. Anyways,
They switched. I mean, look at like Spaghetti and Ehide and fucking like it was all about who can take Pickle Rick and put it before the drop first. That's like the mentality. It's like as soon as something's like, oh, it's a meme. Ah, fucking get it.
yeah, there needs to be dubstep. Well, okay, like
Yeah,
well, like,
immediately.
now, see, here's the thing. Here's what's funny about that mentality is that carried. Okay, when I was like doing brony stuff as Omnipony, there was a kind of weird form of that mentality with like making pony music, like when an episode came out in my head, like any brony listening to this or any ex brony or whatever will understand, and especially if you made music or were a fan of the music, you knew that when an episode came out, within like half a week, a dubstep or a bass music song would come out
Yeah.
with that title, with that theme, and then but the interesting thing was we turned that concept into a contest, like well, not we, but like people had turned it, like there was back in the old like brony music days, we had Toast Beards, which was the competitions. I don't know if I talked about this on the last podcast or on the last interview. I mean, but like we had this concept, we had this website called, we had this concept called Toast Beers, and it was just a website where you could like, it was like an IRC chat board where every week a contest listing would be posted. So it'd be like episode response contest, and it would be like, okay, so the next episode comes out this day. After the episode airs, you have like
Oh,
a
wow.
week or like whatever, like you have like this amount of time, and then what we would do is we would post it. Literally, I did not. This is so fun. We did not care about like the audience necessarily. I mean, I didn't care about it until later, like until it started getting a lot of traction. But like, like literally, I would post it to SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever, and then like not even care. I would just post it straight to the IRC board, the contest page, you know, like, and then and then within that week, a bunch of them will pile up, and at the end of the week, you'd go into this big chat room, and then like everyone would vote. And we would listen to all the submissions in order, and then everyone would vote for their favorite in this big chat room. And it was dope. It was like really fun. So we turned that sort of like, oh, something an event is happening or whatever, and we need to make a song about it. Force you to make a song, and I don't know. I feel like now when that happens, it's like it's less organized and more like for fun.
Well, everybody's doing it. See, the difference between then and now, I find, is that it's like that comes from a place of love and passion, where now it comes from a place of clout and like memes and clicks and plays. It was like there was an innocence to like the original way that it was done.
Yeah.
The way people were
Because it
doing
was
it because they were
bad.
like, oh,
Like,
this all sounds sick.
like-
it was bad. Yeah, it was
Right.
garbage, but it was out of love.
Yeah.
Now it's not out of love. It's out of like, oh, like, dude, like, I mean, literally just look at Facebook. Scroll through Facebook for about an hour, and I guarantee you'll find a couple remixes of whatever meme is popular now. Trap remixes, dubstep remixes, whatever they are. You'll find a remix of it because that's what the culture's turned into. It's turned into, holy shit, I can build the career off of memeing in a dubstep song.
Well,
It doesn't matter what it sounds like,
see-
as long as
see- I feel like the focus has shifted from this thing makes me laugh, therefore I'm going to make like something inspired by it. Like I'll make like a song. Like back in like 2011, again, to kind of go back, like when you saw a meme like remix, that person probably laughed at that meme like and thought it was funny and good, rather than like looked at it as a corporate kind of like, oh, I could like put this on YouTube and make like a load of money, not because I actually
blow up,
care
yeah.
about what I'm making. But because it's just lucrative in nature,
yeah.
because memes are lucrative, and that's like, dude, I can't even name the amount of people that have built their entire like everything.
Well,
like,
the
off
thing,
that,
the-
you know,
like memes, I think memes are important, and I think that making things so that they can be memed isn't inherently wrong, because it's a viable tactic, and it also is a different level of engagement that we haven't really gotten to experience in music before. But I think there's a difference between going out and trying to make something that still has a message or is unique in the way that it's trying to be memed, as opposed to just following this formula that's existed for the past 10 years of memes. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, haha, build up into Pickle Rick, and then you drop the bass, and then that like that's the punchline, that's the joke, and it's always going to be the same joke.
Yeah.
That's why I say, like, it's like a knock joke. It's the same formula every time, where you take something like and it's gotta be like, you take something like Thousand Gex, and you take Money Machine and the intro where they just read that off, like, hey little piss baby, like, that's memeable as fuck, but it's original, and there's creativity to it, and it's funny in an organic way that isn't just a cheap punchline or a cheap, like, knock joke.
I think the reason why we didn't have dubstep on Rubber, though, is not entirely because, like, it's hard to take seriously, because we had, like, we had Cheesies, first of all, which was, like, something that was, like,
hardest dubstep track.
the hardest dubstep track of all time, banging was in my ears.
Cheesies.
Yeah, if you
Dirty
like
Gritty
dubstep,
bass.
check out Cheesies.
All over the place.
If you like saxophone bass.
But, like, I think already, like, aside from dubstep, we had so many other influences for the project that we wanted to sort of touch, a lot of which were kind of, like, sort of embodied that kind of like, passion and love that dubstep used to have.
I think the thing with Cheesies is that it's very tongue in cheek.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's sort of
Well,
a different
dubstep
kind
wouldn't
of,
have
like,
come across like that.
it's a different kind of, like, not taking something seriously.
Yeah, I feel like when dubstep tries to be tongue in cheek, it usually has something to do with a very immature sense of humor, like dick and balls, like that's funny.
Yeah.
420.
But that's not tongue
69
in.
is
See,
like,
that's not tongue in cheek. Then
Shout
it's
out
just
Dr.
like
Pusky, shout out Disciple.
like low. Like
lowbrow.
lowest
I know it's
common
not even
comedic
it's not even
denominator. Like,
tongue in cheek, but that's how they treat it, like as if it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
That's just normal.
and that's where I always felt like, so it just becomes normalized.
It's like
and
normal
no
to
longer
follow.
tongue in cheek.
It's like normal to follow a giant dubstep label and expect to see a fucking wiener and be like, like, get it? It's like dick and balls.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, yep, I get
Because
it.
there's still, like, I don't know, you could still, the thing about dubstep and with Six Impala is that we all come from it. Like, we all sort of were very, very into it when we were younger, and then sort of went into different directions, but we all have that, I guess. So, like, even something like Eyes in the Water, I feel, is, like, the closest thing to dubstep on the project. But
a few people have called it that.
yeah. We instituted a rule where we were like, okay, we're not gonna use any, like, sort of typical dubstep drums. Like, we're not gonna do the 200 hertz snare. Like,
yeah,
we're not
same
gonna do any
took
of that.
away from we just took away from the nuances that typically make up a dubstep track.
Yeah, so, like,
Yeah.
if Eyes in the
But-
Water is a dubstep song, the drums on that are really weird, really distorted. Like, there's a snare, like, I don't know, it's odd. Like, it's
Yeah,
different.
well,
weird the way
texture
it's
is
mixed.
different.
Like, it's just not.
It's not centered. It's barely sidechained. Like, it's not
Yeah.
It's just
really
straight
like,
out the DAW.
Yeah. So I think that's partly why we chose this subject as, like, our first subject to dive into. Is we all come from dubstep, and I think because of that, it allowed us to work together easier. And we've said this before when we did the interview for Why You Delete. For some reason, us all stemming from that same point of inspiration, we all get each other. We all, even if we don't necessarily have the same tastes, or even the same, like, workflows or inspirations, we all get each other's inspirations. We all understand each other's inspirations. So it makes working together way easier. Like, I can envision what you guys are visioning because of it, and I don't know what it is. I know it's sort of an indirect.
And I don't know why.
Sort of like and I don't know why. Fuck.
Sorry.
I don't know why.
That's all right. No.
I didn't.
Is that? Oh God, I almost said Blink-182, but it's not. Is that Linkin Park? Don't they say?
Where are
Don't they have a
ya?
lyric?
I love it when a Blink-182 says, "I don't know why."
Oh, shut up. I don't
It
listen
is.
to that.
It is Linkin Park. Yeah.
But sort of going back to Cheesy's too, that song was really fun, and we actually had an alternate version. It actually sounded completely
Philosophy
different.
Beat.
Yeah, it was originally called Philosophy Beat, and super glad that we changed the name over. Super glad that, not that the instrumental was bad, but I definitely think taking inspiration from...
It wasn't panicky. It was good.
Yeah,
but
like it was
like
very
really
mellow.
chill and
It was
like,
very. It was very.
yeah.
It was that was like a big inspiration of like Flying Lotus.
Yeah.
Was when that was made. And
The
it was
original, yeah,
totally
Philosophy
a different. It was completely different. I mean, that whole. I feel like for that section, yeah, there needed to be more urgency. And I'm glad it was. I'm glad it was altered to reflect that need.
Falafel Beat.
Sort of.
Yeah. It was more. It felt more. It felt more existential than manic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's a perfect way to
Uh-huh.
put it. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And we threw that away, and it was a very mellow track. And Cheeses is already a very jarring track on the album, but it was previously jarring in a way that felt like it was lacking.
Yeah.
Where the new cheese the new version, like, it's jarring, but in a way that is very like strong. It's very emphasized.
Yeah.
It's very different
Because
from
everything's
the rest
jarring.
of the
It's not like just the
Yeah.
voices are jarring. It's like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works.
You killed it, Devin. You killed it, by the way. on the-
fucking
the instrumental. Yeah, I think you said it took you. How long did it take you? Like a whole day?
Actually, it didn't take me that.
whole
It
day's
didn't
worth?
take me that long. It's just I didn't take any breaks.
Whole day's worth of production.
Oh, it took you like an hour?
Yeah.
It took me like 2.5, 3 hours of just sitting there and like
Just sitting
putting
there, yeah.
locators down to like mark what chord I was using and like, ugh.
That's good.
It was not a fun process, but
It's
I've
not fun, but it was
always
good-
wanted to
it's
make
good
something
flex,
like
right?
that.
It's a
Yeah.
good flex to show you
Yeah.
show just how deep it gets. You know,
Yes.
when you really want to show
I
something
can send
cool.
a screenshot of the project file. It looks like fucking black MIDI. Like there's so many locators. It's like
If we do a video on this, we should include the screenshot.
yeah.
Oh, actually, speaking of Black MIDI, I mean, I don't know if anybody noticed. I've only gotten a few. Actually,
That
I've
was a
gotten a
smooth
few
fucking
people who've
transition.
noticed.
Ooh.
That
was so good.
At the very end of Rubber, in Genesis, at the start, only a few people have noticed, but the
Or at least pointed it out.
like, yeah, they pointed it out. The instrument that plays, or the melody that plays, or whatever it is that plays, is actually a Black MIDI. If you don't know what Black MIDI is, it's when you render a full song into a MIDI converter, and instead of like just pulling out the harmony or the melody or the rhythm, it's like it takes the full song and it runs it through MIDI. So you get this disgusting. That's why it's called Black MIDI, because it just covers
Yeah.
the piano
Yeah, Black
roll
MIDI.
in like all kinds of notes. And what happens is you get all the fine little tonalities that make up somebody's voice actually get represented in the MIDI. So
Yeah.
we put detached through a converter and then ran the Black MIDI into the instrument that we use at the very beginning in the intro on the outro, and then started
Right.
Genesis with that to sort of just make reference to both the intro being the starting point and detached being the halfway point in the ending of the album. So it was a really nice touch, and I don't think a lot of people noticed it.
Yeah,
but
I think-
those that did, I got really
I
excited.
think it's cool that we got to kind of flex the phenomenon of being able to hear, because the whole Black MIDI thing. I remember at least from when I first heard about it, it was someone was showcasing what happened when you converted the entire waveform of Smash Mouth All Star into
Yeah.
into just raw MIDI, and then played a piano over it. And what the uncanny like phenomenon was that you can still hear the voice. You can still hear exactly what
Them singing.
he's saying, like
Yep.
in a MIDI format, complete. And that was like really interesting.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
There's a bunch of really
it's-
cool videos of like player piano.
yeah,
doing
you
it,
can
and it's like,
play exactly.
that's
where they
wild.
visualize it.
Yeah.
You can watch this flood of notes coming, and you somehow, if you know they say I think if you don't really know the song that well, it's much harder to pick up.
Yeah, I
but
don't know
your
if you can
brain.
if you
Your
don't know the
brain
song.
just fills in the blanks. If you, like everyone knows All Star is a perfect example
Yeah.
of like a
Yeah,
song
it's a
showcase.
really it was I remember there was a YouTube video that was just going viral, and it was in my YouTube recommended, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, like we have to utilize this somehow. I think this is just
It's
so, cool.
It's like
Yeah.
It's so
virtual
cool of a
Mongolian
concept.
throat singing. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. fuck. That's actually a good.
We just for us we just used a straight sine wave, didn't we?
I think
For
so.
ours.
No, it was an old Rhodes. There's a
right.
a
Was it the Rhodes
preset
in the beginning?
Ableton. Yeah, it's the exact same Rhodes in the beginning.
Oh,
I didn't even know
That's
that.
what I was saying.
I didn't
So
know
I
that
took
either.
I took the instrument from the beginning and I took the song from the halfway point and I put them together for the Black MIDI at the outro.
Nice.
Wow.
That was like the
I
point
actually,
of it.
didn't-
So
I
that
actually,
it's
I actually thought it was just sine waves. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
no,
cool.
yeah, it's. I mean, it's a Rhodes, so like
It's like pretty. It's pretty close to. Sine.
It's pretty
Like,
much is.
Yeah.
I did, however, put the problem with so Rhodes is pretty much like a sine wave, at least the one that's the preset in Ableton. It's just like one of the stock presets that come with Ableton. I tweaked it a little and then I put noise over it because Black MIDI with a sine wave actually starts to get like really piercing because like. The different notes resonate with each other because there's just the sheer amount of them. There's like 45 notes playing all at once. They resonate with each other in a way that actually hurts your ears. So I sort of rounded out the top and then put a noise layer over top of it, which if you listen to it, you'll hear. So yeah, but it is the same exact instrument from the beginning
That's super
that plays
cool.
over top of Devin's voice.
It's amazing how clear the voice comes out too. It's just
Mhm.
such a
It's
cool
crazy.
phenomenon.
And right now, actually, we're working on the alternate version of the album, and we sort of came up with this idea earlier on in development because we knew that the album was going to be very much like it's very obscure. None of the songs are really like some of them, like Chrome Type, Ripple. If you are playing a footwork set, like Far Away. Eyes in the Water, kinda like it has a really obscure build. Like they have very non-traditional structures, and that makes them hard to mix. So we specifically were like, all right, if we're gonna put this out, we should make edits and remixes and VIPs of different versions of the song so that they are more user-friendly, so that we can fit them into a mix. So like right now we have Script working on like a chopped and screwed, which is a genre that James was teaching me about, a remix
Chopped
of
and
Trauma. He's got like a chopped and screwed remix of Trauma, and it's
chopped and
crazy.
screwed. Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I could go on forever about chopped and screwed, baby.
It's a really fun genre.
It's
I didn't even know it
stupidly
existed
fun.
till
Dude.
like recently.
Dude, I've been going off about chopped and screwed for a while. Okay, so like to give a little backstory on chopped and screwed. Not that I'm like some super expert. I actually got into it from my brother. So my brother, he's a bit older than me. He was a big fan of Dirty South. It was not like the whole, specifically Paul Wall, or Paul Wall and not Slim Thug, but like that whole crowd. And DJ Michael Watts was a DJ. I think he was a producer for the label Swishahouse that all these records came out of, and they had these like mixtapes. It was just a series of chopped and screwed versions of their songs that were like super slowed. I consider it to be like one of the first variations of like almost vaporwave. In a way, like the way it was,
like the way that it was just like raw,
the way
like
it was
the
just
raw original track.
Yeah, it was the track super slowed down. It was meant, dude. You were meant to be blowing some hot smoke, hot Wheaties when you're listening to this shit.
To get some
Smoking
get a
and
roach.
Oh, dude, you had
Smoke
to
a
be
roach.
you're low riding,
Dude,
dude. You're
dude.
low.
Get it-
You would be driving down Houston. You're low
Get that
rider.
spliff.
No, it was a very specific culture, and like, dude,
Pass
my
a-
favorite.
pass a blunty.
My favorite. Chopped and Screwed has
the
been around
fuck
for a
up.
while. Chopped and Screwed has been around since I think the late '90s. But one of my favorite records that really got me into it was "Let Ya Nuts Hang" 2K7. Look that up.
Every time I hear you say
Ya
that
Nuts
fucking name,
Hang.
let your nuts hang.
This
Is
is
it with a Z? Is
Yeah,
nuts
yeah.
spelled
Let
with
Ya
Z?
Nuts with
Of
a Z.
course.
With a Z.
It's Zed. I'm Canadian. I'm pretty sure we say it like Zed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's our thing.
Like Zed with a Z, whatever. Zed is
Anyways,
canceled.
well, shut the fuck up. You're right, but shut the fuck up. Anyways, yeah, we are gonna have a like it's like a faster chopped and screwed remix of Trauma. I'm excited for that. We've got like a techno version of Chrome Type. I'm excited to see what everybody thinks. and I think it's a trend that will probably take moving forward, because it's fun, and it doesn't have to be so serious compared to like the rest of the album.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It makes
and
it.
we're also actually going to, when we're done this, we're going to be playing some of them, just a couple of them. We're just going to be playing them for you guys. There's actually also in the alternate, there's a full version of Myopia, because we actually cut that song down to 50 seconds, I think.
Was it like 4 minutes?
Yeah, the original is actually 4 minutes because the end of the album is like we
Yeah.
originally had the outro to Dragon Fist, which is like a minute of like this ambience, and then we had Myopia, which was a 4 minute like ambient weird song, and then there was the actual outro Genesis, which was originally planned to be 7 minutes, and we cut that down to I think 3, so that I didn't want the album to finish with 10 minutes of ambient music.
Yeah.
It felt
It needed to
wrong.
like
Again.
climax at Dragon
Yeah.
Fist. And then
Yeah. Climax at Dragon Fist, and then sort of get that final story arc that is better watched with the video. If you haven't seen the video,
watch
please
the
go check it out.
video.
Yeah,
The video is
um,
important and cool.
The Genesis video. Shout out to Andrew Dumig for his work on that. It was
Shout out to
really,
Dan
really well done.
for being a cool.
I didn't do
video.
anything. I didn't make the video. It was Andrew.
Nice job on the video, Dan.
Good
Shut
job on
up.
the video, Dan.
That was really good.
I didn't make the video.
How
Andrew
did
made
you
the video.
track
His
those
tracking
visuals like
kills.
that?
I did actually film. I actually did film it. The filming process for the whole thing was really fun. But we can actually talk about that in the next episode because this is where we end the first.
We're gonna have to cut it
Six
here,
Impala
guys. Thank you so
podcast.
much for watching.
Yeah,
If
we're
you
gonna
liked,
cut it
leave
here.
a comment
We'll show
and
you a few
subscribe.
memes. Check out these memes below. The meme of the day,
Oh,
guys.
shut up! Meme of the day.
Comment question of
check
the
out the
day
meme of the week.
comes to you from
Meme of the day.
Yeah.
James actually woke up. That's the meme of the day today. If I can get a shout out to James for waking up today.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, thanks.
Wow.
Damn. I had to put you on the spot like that, didn't I?
Huh?
Hey.
Huh?
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode. We hope you enjoy. If you do want these to be longer, we're testing it out with about a half an hour runtime. If you want these to be longer, please let us know.
Dude, 2 hours.
We'll be able to make these longer, but we also want to
Yo, please
keep
say,
this stuff.
please say you want it for longer.
James
please.
can talk for 6 hours at a time.
I have I could run this damn podcast.
Chopped
You know
and
it,
screwed
Yeah.
Dan.
edition.
I know
I
you
could
can.
chop and screw this.
I know. I had to cut you. I had to cut you off before you chopped and screwed your way into a 6 hour rant. to
Dude,
make
it would have
this
been
random.
good. People would have been like,
Okay.
yo, chopped and screwed.
Yo,
let
chopped
your
and
nuts hang.
screwed,
Yo,
though.
like and comment if you let your nuts hang. 2K subs.
Is that what we're naming? Is that what we're gonna
Let-
name it?
Yep, that's the
Just
first
like
episode, Let Your Nuts Hang.
podcast.
That's super inviting.
episode,
Everyone's
Let
gonna
Your Nuts Hang.
definitely want to watch it. and
Shout out
I think
DJ
we're
Michael
all
Watts.
sane
Alright.
people.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Fuck Crisp.
Fuck you,
We're
Chris.
Fuck you, Chris.